The H-blocks of May's prison were a fortress of modern design. A concrete and steel labyrinth built to be the most secure prison in Europe, its walls were topped with razor wire, its towers were manned by armed guards, and its perimeter was a series of 16-foot fences and electronically controlled gates. It was considered a masterpiece of containment, a place where escape was not just improbable, but a statistical impossibility. But on September 25, 1983, a young guard, on his first week on the job, was handing out dinner trays. An inmate, a high-ranking IRA prisoner named Brendan the Quietman McFarlane, smiled politely. "There's been a change of plans for dinner." "Son," McFarlane said, his voice calm and steady. The guard looked confused. But before he could react, a second inmate was behind him, a small, smuggled handgun pressed firmly against his side. In that single, quiet moment, the most audacious and largest prison break in British history had just begun. 38 men were about to prove that no prison is truly unbreakable when its prisoners are more organized, more disciplined, and more determined than the guards who hold them. The maze wasn't just a prison, it was a battleground, the epicenter of the conflict in Northern Ireland. The prisoners weren't just criminals. They were paramilitary members, organized, disciplined, and operating with a military-style chain of command even behind bars. Their leader inside the H-blocks was Brendan McFarlane, a quiet, intellectual man who commanded absolute loyalty. He knew that a brute force escape was suicide. The maze was a machine of surveillance and control. Their plan had to be a Trojan Horse, an attack from within, using the prison's own systems and routines against itself. For over a year, they planned. The operation was a masterpiece of intelligence gathering and meticulous preparation. Inmates took on specific roles. Some were mappers, using their work details to create detailed drawings of the entire facility from memory. Others were scroungers, tasked with obtaining materials, guard uniforms, radio codes, and, most impossibly, weapons. The weapons were the key. They were smuggled into the prison, piece by tiny piece, over many months. A pistol slide hidden in the sole of a visitor's shoe, a barrel disguised as a piece of plumbing, ammunition sealed inside cans of food. It was a high-stakes, nerve-wracking process where a single discovery would doom them all. The guards in the H-blocks had become complacent, lulled into a false sense of security by the prison's unbreakable reputation. This complacency was the flaw McFarlane and his men would exploit. The plan was set for a Sunday evening, the quietest time in the prison, when skeleton crews were on duty. The signal was a single, coded phrase broadcast over a smuggled radio. At 6 p.m., the operation began. It was a silent, synchronized takeover. Teams of prisoners, armed with the smuggled handguns and sharpened tools, moved with chilling precision. In one cell block, an inmate faked an illness. When the guard opened the door, he was quickly and quietly overpowered. In another, a prisoner requested a book from the library. The moment the gate was unlocked, the guards were taken. Within 20 minutes, without a single shot being fired, the inmates had seized complete control of H-Block 7, the central hub of the prison. They now had the guards' uniforms, their keys, and their radios. The first phase was complete, but this was the easy part. Their plan was to use a food delivery truck, a vehicle that came and went from the prison with routine predictability as their escape vehicle. McFarlane, now dressed in a guard's uniform, radioed the main gate. "This is H-Block 7, he said, his voice a perfect imitation of the captured officers. "We have a medical emergency. A prisoner has had a heart attack. We're bringing him out." It was a lie. A carefully crafted piece of theater. A group of inmates, dressed as guards, carried another inmate on a stretcher towards the waiting food truck. The driver, a civilian, was taken hostage. His truck, now their Trojan Horse. 38 men, the chosen escapees, were crammed into the back of the truck, piled on top of each other in the dark, filthy space. They were a mix of leaders, soldiers, and specialists, each chosen for their role in the escape and their value to the cause on the outside. McFarlane took the passenger seat, his gun hidden, and they drove towards the first of many gates. They passed through the first 2 checkpoints without incident. The guards, seeing the familiar truck and uniformed officers, waved them through. The illusion was holding, but at the main gates, the final barrier between them and freedom, their luck began to run out. A senior officer, a man known for his meticulous attention to detail, was on duty. He didn't recognize McFarlane ID, the officer demanded, his eyes narrowing with suspicion. McFarlane knew the game was up. The time for deception was over. "Now," he yelled. The inmates poured out of the back of the truck, a sudden, shocking swarm of They overpowered the guards at the main gate, but not before the alarm was raised. Klaxons blew. Searchlights swept across the yard. The entire prison erupted into chaos. It was now a desperate, frantic race for the final perimeter fence. The 38 men scattered, running in all directions, a tactic designed to confuse the responding guards. Some were caught immediately on the prison grounds. Others made it over the final fence, only to be captured in the surrounding fields. But many of them, including the leaders McFarlane and his second-in-command, Gary Kelly, made it. They had practiced for this, studying maps of the local area, arranging safe houses, and planning their exfiltration routes. Some hijacked cars, others disappeared into the countryside, melting into a network of sympathizers. The immediate aftermath was a scene of chaos and disbelief for the prison authorities. They had been defeated, their unbreakable fortress shattered from the inside by the very men it was built to contain. Of the 38 men who broke out, 19 were eventually recaptured in the following days and weeks. But 19 of them, nearly half, vanished completely, becoming folk heroes and the most wanted men in the country. The Maze prison escape was a stunning humiliation for the government and a powerful symbol of resistance. It was a testament to what can be achieved with meticulous planning, unwavering discipline, and the unbreakable bond of a united group. It proved that the strength of a prison is not in its walls or its gates, but in the morale of its guards and the division of its prisoners. And when those prisoners are more organized than their captors, no prison on earth is truly unbreakable. If this incredible true story of the great escape from Maze Prison amazed you, please show your support by hitting that LIKE button. Subscribe and ring the notification bell for more true stories of history's most audacious prison breaks. Now, we have a question for you. What do you believe is the most crucial element for a successful escape? A brilliant plan, a moment of luck, or the weakness of your captors? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching.